According to the theme, the prime targets of this webinar are the students and the learners. Today, we would have 3 speakers presenting their opinions on this issue. The first speaker will be Dr. Pawan Gupta from the University of Maryland in Baltimore, which is quite famous for its research. He will be talking about academic prospects abroad. The second speaker today is Dr. Malavika Banerjee, and she will talk from her long experience in the biotechnological industries on different ways by which one could enter here. And the third speaker will be Dr. Shushmita Pati, and she will take up the case of career prospects and education in the fields of humanities. I would request all the students to put forward their queries and questions in the chat box. We will then ensure to get them to the speakers. I would now request the principal, Dr. Abhitabu Vasu, to inaugurate this webinar session.
Very good morning, and thank you.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Is the only cause of existing of career and counseling cell, which exists in pen and paper only. However, in B.B. College, we want to make I am getting প্রথম থেকে বলছিলাম দেখো am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. You're audible. You can proceed. You're audible, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Please proceed.
Yeah. So it's not from me. Very good morning, and thank you very much, Dr. Arnav Ganguly. I would like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to all our invited speakers for accepting our invitation and for giving consent to give their valuable lectures and share their experience with the participants, especially our students in our one-day international webinar on a venture in prospects in career and higher education, organized by Career and Counseling Cell of our B.B. College under the aegis of Internal Quality Assurance Cell. The scheme of establishing a career and counseling cell in colleges has been formulated to address the diverse socio-economic challenges and geographic background of the heterogeneous population of students coming to the colleges, and for providing equity of access and placement opportunities through availability of appropriate institutional support information. In the present system evolution of NAC of colleges, creation of career and counseling cell might have become necessity. And in many colleges, necessity is the only cause of existing of career and counseling cell, which exist in pen and paper only. However, in B.B. College, we want to make career and counseling cell a reality, which I think is not only the moral duty of our college, but a practical necessity, for we actually believe in imparting quality education to our students. The students who enroll in a college come straight after completing schools and still in teens. Mute. Still in teens. Many of the students are the first generation learner, and though flood of information may be available on internet, the students are not mature enough and are at loss to pre-plan their career. Availability of relevant and accessible information coupled with professional guidance to utilize the same can result in better career achievement outside the classroom and help in healthy population of the students. The conventional information system comprises a copy of prospectus. Usually, at the time of admission to our students, we give them a prospectus that consists of a list of courses and combination, entry rules, fee structure, examination schedule, etc. In a routine, repetitive manner, year after year, the conventional information system is now to be supplemented with active guidance and information technology that is first replacing the print media, the system that can quickly retrieve information detail for the benefit of all concerned. Now it is important to institutionalize this support to enhance the reach and scope of available opportunities for the students and prepare them for the future challenges. So at first, the student need the relevant information. Secondly, the potential of the students need to be evaluated so that a realistic career goal for the students can be set, without which success is not possible. Most of the students, without setting career goal, pursue studies and end up with doing wrong kind of job, not suited to their aptitude, which result in frustration and also lack of efficiency at the job level. Career counseling of the student has all the more imperative because due to automation, there is shrinkage in traditional job. But on the positive side, there is a creation of new kind of job also. Students have to converse into the radical changes taking place in the job market. In my opinion, the Frisian education system should also undergo radical changes. Now, right now, what are you saying? The cramming of notes without understanding the concept can give degree. This does not even produce real knowledge. The government, the policymaker, educationalists have realized that there is an alarming situation and truth of consistently increasing unstoppable number of unskilled and unemployment youth generation due to existing pattern of education system, where there is a real mismatch between the industry's demand and what we are producing from our academic institutions. Promotion of the industry academic collaboration is definitely need of the hour. Enhance and upgrade the employability skill of the students in long run. The resultant situation is that during the last 4 decades, there have been conscious effort in India to promote cooperation between academia and industry. However, only marginal success has been achieved, possibly because the colleges and the industrial units have not been under any pressure to interact. In my opinion, the government effort in this direction to materialize this initiative will definitely change the scenario. At our college level, we are trying our level best by introducing add-on courses or skill-based courses in different departments and coaching for the competitive examinations in collaboration with professional institutions. And I am really indebted to our invited speaker for guiding us in this direction for the better future of our students. With these few words, I formally announce this international webinar of our career counseling says open, and it is open for discussion and deliberation and interaction among the participants. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words to inaugurate this program. Now I have been given the responsibility to greet Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta. So first of all, I would like to inform the participants that he is a student of our college. So Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta received his bachelor's degree in mathematics from our college, Panuela Galotia College, under the University of Burdwan in 2008. He got his master's degree in applied mathematics from IIT ISM Dhanbad in 2010, and he has done his master's and PhD degrees in mathematics from University of Central Florida, Orlando, USA in 2015 and 2019 respectively. Between 2010 to 2013, he was an assistant professor at Adamas Institute of Technology, Kolkata. He is currently a postdoctoral fellow in the University of Maryland, Baltimore, USA, which is a very prestigious university, as all of you know. His research interests are inverse problems in mathematics and pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, and radiation oncology. So for the participants, I think most of the undergraduate students in science, they couldn't explore their true potential due to the lack of guidance regarding career aspects. So the primary objective of this talk is to introduce young aspiring undergraduate students with the opportunities of pursuing higher studies outside this country. This talk is specially tailored to familiarize undergraduate students with the admission procedure and the corresponding helpful resources. So I thank Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta for accepting our request to share his views on this topic. And to the participants, I must share my view that you must know he's a very eager personality to share his views amongst you. So you are fortunate enough to have him amongst you, and be sure to fulfill this opportunity to enrich yourself regarding these matters. Just inquire about your career practice, interact with him as much as you can. With these words, I am signing off. The stage is yours, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, Dr. Sudip Das. Okay, I would also like to thank the organizing committee member for this seminar, for giving me an opportunity to share my experience in higher studies abroad in science. And I'm really glad that to see the number of participants like that. That means that a lot of students are like very interested for at least learning about that, with how many opportunities we have and what are the opportunities. Apart from that, I'm also glad sharing my experience because I graduated from B.B.College in 2008. At that time, we were lacking like resources and opportunities also. By resources means, you can understand, in 2008, we didn't have internet connection. I mean, by internet connection means readily available internet connection. Now we can access internet through our phone, or we have Wi-Fi routers and all. Forget about like this internets and all. We didn't even have a personal computer. I remember that when I was I was preparing my applications and applying for the universities, I used to go to the cyber cafes because of they had internet connections, and I was doing all my searches over there. I had to stand long in the cyber cafe lines. But here, all the participants, you guys are really fortunate that you have access to the at least the basic resources, computer laptops or smartphones, to at least get connect to anyone on the other side of the world and access information. So yeah, okay. So let me share my screen. Of my presentation. Okay, so Dr. Sudip Das, I just want a confirmation if attendees are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Thank you. So, higher education in abroad, right? Okay, it is making you excited. So the first question is, why one should consider higher studies in abroad? So first point is that it helps you to extend your reach and network. If you're pursuing your higher education in India, then your network and your what should I say, your circle is limited to India as well, right? But if you're going to higher studies in a different country, so you are also increasing your network. You're getting to know different people from whom you can get help, as well as you can help them also. Next is, it gives us opportunity to learn and understand diverse cultures. I think this sentence itself talks about it, that when we are going to different country, we get to meet people from different cultures. We get to learn their cultures, as well as we get to understand it. So it makes us open-minded when we learn about people from diverse cultures. Third thing, becoming independent. So not just going to abroad for studies. If you are going anywhere in India for higher studies, what happens? You are staying away from your home. You are probably living in a hostel, right? So you are alone. You are not with your parents. So it gives you a kind of independence, right? So if you are sick, there is no one there to help you, right? You have to be responsible for yourself. Now think about that when you are going out of the country, you are even more independent. You have to be even more responsible. And this is the kind of challenge we get. Next, it also widens the range of career opportunities. For example, after getting my PhD from USA, not only I can apply for jobs in India, I can also apply for jobs in US and into other countries, right? So it actually widens my career opportunities. Next, we can develop our, and this is the most important, that when we go to outside country, we develop our career, we develop our personalities, and then we can return back to our country in future and then contribute towards the betterment of our country, right, India. So now the next question is, okay, so where can I go for pursuing higher study? So like the world is really big. You can go for higher studies in anywhere in any country, starting from US, Canada, Australia, and there are like many European countries like Germany, Ireland, and many more. Okay, next, before you start, you ask yourself, what are the goals in your life for study? Is it just a job? You want to get a job, or you have higher goals? You want to pursue higher studies or something, even after that. So it helps you a lot to plan your path, how you're going to achieve those steps. Next, where do you want to go? So everyone has some preference. Some people want to study in USA for some reason. Some people want to go to European countries and pursue their higher education. Some people want to go to Canada and others. So I'm going to discuss that. Okay, what are the advantages and what are the points? Why should you go to the different countries? So probably it will help you to figure you out. Next, what do you want out of your study abroad program? That's also important. How will this apply to your career major? What's the cost breakdown? That means for different countries, the cost of pursuing higher education are different. Or at least if there is no cost of higher studies, then you need some initial investment for at least reaching to that part of the world for studying. Next, what do you want to do beside the study? For example, like I am also interested in exploring outdoors. So I go for camping, trekking, okay, snorkeling. Okay, so for me, US and other European countries are good. There we have many exciting activities. This is also very important in your life, what you want to do beside your studies. And the last, can I manage the initial or after investment? The question to this answer is both yes and no. So if you can manage, then it's good. If you don't have initial investment to start your journey, then you can always find out a way to do that. If there is a will, there is a way. Next, since I have gone through the application and admission process in USA, so I'll be able to give you better aspect of the higher education in USA. But I have a little bit idea about what are the process and all in European countries also. So a lot of my friends are also doing PhD in the European countries. So if you're applying to European countries, your cost of your journey reaching there reduces dramatically. There are those universities applications are free of cost. So you are saving a lot of money there. It doesn't require a lot of tests for getting admission there. So you're also saving money there because this foreign the tests for applying for masters and PhDs are very expensive. So for the European universities, if you want to start your application or you want to plan your journey, then first step is to find a professor with whom you are sharing a common research interest and with whom you want to work with. So basically this procedure is that first you do your search in different universities. If you are going for MS or PhD, okay, you are interested in some area of the science. It could be mathematics, area in mathematics or area in physics or chemistry. So find out the professor, start a chat with them through email them, let them know that you are interested to work with them, and then you can start from there. And if the professor's like really interested working with you, then he will ask you to apply and he will then guide you with the entire application process. Now the duration, which is like quite attractive, that the duration of PhD in Europe is mostly 3 years, and it depends on the funding you get. So there is a reason that you finish your PhD much early in Europe, because you don't do a lot of courseworks, and like usually you have like funding available in India like that and all, and you also have funding opportunities in Europe. So like you only focus on your research and other stuff, and you don't have to do any work. You can spend like 15 hours of your 24 hours only for your research and your studies. Now, it comes to MS or PhD in USA. Now, I'm assuming all you guys are like undergraduate students. So I did my IIT, my master's from IIT Dhanbad, IIT Asansol. But if I have an option to go back and change, okay, and give me myself option whether you want to pursue MS from US, I would accept that and I would go for that. The reason is that PhD in USA is difficult. So if you have masters from USA, then it makes your life a little bit easier. You will be better prepared to opt for PhD program. In basic sciences, especially, it is difficult. In engineering, you have like a lot of funding, okay, because you're working on applied problems and all. In basic sciences, you have like scarcity of funding. Next, for pursuing MS or PhD in USA, you need to plan rigorously. So the rule of thumb is that if you want to go to US in 2022 fall for your higher studies, by fall I mean fall starts from August. So if you want to start your higher studies in August 2022, then you should start planning or preparing from August 2020. You have to start around 2 years before. It varies. Some people start a little bit late. It could be 1.5 years, but to be safe, you should start planning 2 years. It's a little bit complicated and lengthy process. But once you like get admission, then you will feel that it is all these 2 years of hard work was worthy. So for masters, the duration of study in US is typically 2 years. Sometimes it is less than that. It depends on you. Like there are like certain number of courses you have to finish to get masters. Some of my friends got their masters in 1 year, some of 1.5 years, but typically people take 2 years. So for masters, the problem is that there's not a lot of funding in master's program. So you have to pay yourself to pursue masters in USA. But there are good thing. There are a lot of loans available in India. You can take loan if possible, and then you can pursue your masters there. And for PhDs, the typical time is 5 to 7 years. And see, it is drastically different than with compared to the European countries. And the reason that long time it takes, because first, typically in PhD in basic sciences, you go through a lot of courseworks for first few years. I'm not sure about physics and chemistry department. For them, it also depends on the universities and department, that they have a little bit less coursework. For mathematics, I remember for me, I did 3.5 years of coursework, like every semester, like 2 to 3 courses. So that took a lot of time, followed by then in basic sciences, in like even in physics, chemistry, and math, you have to go through some qualifying exams and candidacy exams. Those exams you have to pass in order to remain in the program. This all look challenging, but if we guys really work hard, and this is doable. And I survived this stuff, so I believe that anyone can do so if I can. Okay, so now let's get started with some information. So if you are like planning for your PhD, so by the way, let me tell you that to get into admission in PhD program, you don't need masters. Masters makes your profile better, but I have many friends who got directly admission into PhD program directly from bachelor's. So you just need to be able to convince the admission committee members that you can do PhD. And okay, so first you need to start with the research where you want to go. So that needs a lot of like planning and Google search. You have to figure out a lot of things, match program options to your academic or geographic interest by searching through your program direct. Next step is like get advised and search for resources. So like since I told you that this is a little lengthy program, so the best option you have that first you start finding the seniors or anyone you know who knows about this process or like who went through this process. If they went through this process, then they will be able to advise you, right? So get connected, build your network. Okay, I'm sure that there are many like ex-student from B.B.College or whatever college you are from. You can find seniors. You just have to start searching, get connected to them, start asking them a question, show your interest. If you have like more than, I just have to, okay, if you have like more than one person as your senior who are like in abroad, get connected to all of them. Okay, ask the same question to like all the seniors or all the people who are there. Okay, try, even in the same topic, everyone has different perspective. Okay, so and everyone has like different opinion. Try to understand them, try to learn them. Then discover funding specific to the international education. Step 3 and step 4 is learn from others who have gone before you. Then step 5 is prepare for the test and passport. Okay, so here I would like to stress a little bit. So when you start your application, especially in USA, you have to take the tests are fundamental part of the application. The tests are general GRE, subject GRE, and TOEFL IBT. So for appearing for those exams, you need passport. So if you're like really serious and you want to pursue your higher education abroad, then you need to have passport. Anyway, if you are going to US or not, or any other country, you're gonna need passport, right? So you should start planning and you should get your passport as soon as possible. Prepare for the test. That's what I'm going to discuss next. Then you apply to the program that best fits your needs. And at last, that's after the admission, when we got everything, we apply for visa and prepare to take off. Okay, now let's start with the application package for like either master's or PhD in USA. The application procedure is more or less same for master's or PhD program. Getting master's in USA is, I would say, easier than getting PhD there. The reason is same, because they don't fund for master's student unless you are like extraordinary, you have research papers during your undergraduate. So when you are like spending money to study on your own, then yeah, it is easier, right? Then okay, you are actually giving money to the universities. For PhD, you are actually not investing anything. Instead, the university is paying to you, right? So university will give you admission only if they think you are a deserving student, you deserve to be the part of the university, right? That's why getting admission in PhD is, I would say, much difficult than master's program. Okay, but the thing is that if you get your admission in master's first, then it becomes much easier to get into PhD, but not only in PhD, but into a very good school. Okay, now let's discuss about the application package. The application package are like divided into 3 parts. Okay, first you need to take some tests in order to apply to the universities. These tests are GRE, graduate record examination. Then test of English as foreign language, in short we call TOEFL, and third is subject GRE. So if you are applying for to the European countries, most of the universities I know, they don't require any subject GRE or graduate GRE exam. So you are saving your time as well as money. So probably you just have to appear for a test like test of English as foreign language. So just you have to prove that you are fluent in English, you can understand, write, read, etc. Okay, for European countries, for some universities, they require some different format of the test, different test. It's like the IELTS. Okay, but TOEFL is like most accepted test for this. But for if you're applying for USA, in the USA, then you have to appear for at least first to general GRE and TOEFL. And the subject GRE, not every university requires that, but the very good schools, maybe the top 20 or top 50 schools, they require you to take subject GRE. Caution general GRE you can take like I think 5 times a year. Okay, when I was appearing, it was like that. TOEFL, I think once in a month, but subject GRE is only once in a year. So you have to be careful. You have to plan ahead of time. I think it's September or sometime it is given. And okay, so you'll get only one opportunity for that. Okay. Next, the other parts of application is statement of purpose, goal statement, statement of interest, and there are many names for that. But most of the cases you will hear that the university is asking for statement of purpose. So it is the application procedure in USA is a little bit different than the application procedure in India, right? In India, you take the test, probably NET or GATE, and you just fill up the application and you're done, right? I remember when I was in 2008 when I was applying for the masters. There, what happened? There, I had to just go to the Asansol and I just picked up a form which was like 1 or 2 pages, right? I fill up, that's it. But here, see, the application procedure is quite lengthy, and here you have to fill up. You have to prepare this statement of purpose. You have to fill up the online application form and all. So, what is a statement of purpose? This statement of purpose is a document which describes your vision. For the caution is here that you have to start early. It might take 6 months to a year to prepare a statement of purpose. Let me tell you, this is just 1 to 2 pages of the document. My statement of purpose when I was applying, it was I think 1 or maximum 1.5 page, but it took me like around a year. It varies from person to person. The more clear vision you have, the faster you'll be able to prepare. So better to be safe, you should start like at least 6 months to 1 year ahead of time. And for this, you have to get a lot of help. You have to get connected to people. You need someone who reads your statement of purpose and gives you feedback. I cannot stress that enough here. See, I have made it bold and underscored it. Don't read anyone's statement of purpose in internet. If you are like reading someone else's internet, then you are trying to think from someone else's point of view. So you are basically, you are not having your own vision. You are trying to see from others' vision, right? So it makes you biased. I did my mistake when I was preparing for my admission application. Then I read many SOPs from internet, and it made me biased. I was writing the way I read in internet, and it will just make your application weaker because the admission committee members in any foreign universities, every year they like go through 100 to 200, even 500 applications, right? So they know the difference between original vision and which is like you read somewhere from internet and just you are just summarizing the same idea, right? So don't just try to search in the internet that what should you do, what are the parts, the parts of the statement of purpose, and just try to write accordingly. I will discuss a little bit more in the coming slides. Next, you need transcript and LOR, right? Even if we are applying to like Indian institutes, we need to submit our mark sheets and certificates and all, right? And that's nothing but the transcript. When you are applying to the abroad, then just for the credibility purpose, you need to submit all your mark sheet as well as the certificates in an envelope which is sealed by the university officials. So this is the transcript. Letter of recommendation in short we call LOR. So LOR is the name itself says, right? Someone is like giving a letter in which he is recommending you, right? So this letter of recommendation we get from our professors with whom you took classes. So, and this represents professors' opinion about you, right? So from a foreign university, someone is going to, give you, precious opportunity to study, right? There are like I don't know, many students are applying for the Ph.D. and MS in USA or Canada or anywhere, right? So before they give you an opportunity, they want to make sure that, okay, you have people would think good about you, right? So your professors think that you are a good student, okay, you have the capability. Otherwise, okay, if someone goes there and just quits the PhD or MS program, then it is the rest of the seat. Transcripts, I just told you, this is just your grade records, your marks, your diploma and all. So for the transcript LOR also, you have to also start preparing utilizing. So this is the overview of the tests. Remember, I said that there are 3 tests. Subject GRE is optional. For graduate record examination, in short, general GRE, there are 3 parts you need to take: verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning, and analytical writing. For verbal reasoning, basically they want to test. This is actually a kind of English section, but there they want to find out how smart you are. So it's just not English, like it needs like really good preparation for that. For quantitative reasoning, I think if you prepare a little bit, you will be good enough to do good in this part. For analytic writing, this has 2 parts. One is it's like they will give you one sentence and you have to just expand it, elaborate it, so give your ideas. And the other part is they will give you someone's opinion and you have to criticize. So I'm not going into details because it's very short talk, but analytical writing, you have to write more and more, keep writing, try to write those like paragraphs. There are like websites which offers, because like there is one company, ETS, they offers all these tests. They are like private organization. So from their website, you can get an idea about what these are, and they have some practice stuff over there. You can do that. TOEFL, much easier than GRE. For GRE, probably you have to prepare for 1 year. TOEFL has like 4 parts: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Reading is a piece of cake. Okay, very easy. Writing is much easier than here. This analytical writing, you will get with little preparation, you will get with that. For the listening and speaking section, you have to prepare really well. These are very challenging. So again, you can go to the ETS website, ets.org, and then from there you can learn more about this stuff. And for subject theory, there are like subject theory offered in many subjects. So yeah, you have to do some Google search yourself. You have to find out some practice tests. You need to have good depth in your subject in your undergraduate level. And subject theory is a difficult test. That's why like good universities ask for subject theory. But if you prepare, you can do that. Next, statement of purpose. It is the most important part of your application. It is even more important than those stupid tests, GRE and TOEFL. They mean nothing to the universities if you're applying for PhD. They are just qualifying criteria. You have to clear those just to get admission with some moderate score. But if you want to go to good schools, then probably you have to score a little higher. For statement of purpose, I discussed earlier that you have to start early. Statement of purpose need a lot of imagination, a lot of thinking, right? So you cannot just do in like 15 days or 1 month. You have to try. You have to give it a break for 15 days, 1 month. Then you have to start again. You have to write a what should I say, a sketch, and then you have to shape it every now and then. So it takes a lot of time. So start early. It is 1 or 2 page of document. I just told you before that it could take more than 6 months to prepare. Don't read others' recipe. And what is this document about? It is a document of your vision. So in this document, basically you connect your past with the present, and you show that how your past and present can help you to achieve your goals in future. You have to tell them about your vision, where you are visioning yourself after, I don't know, maybe 5 years or 10 years. So you have to tell them a goal. You have to justify why you have these goals in your life. That's why the name is a statement of purpose or a statement of goal statements and all. Like, I will give you some resources how to prepare for this statement of purpose. Fortunately, I was able to find those resources when I was like applying for those. LOR and transcript. So usually, I think everywhere in US or in European countries or Australia, wherever, 3 LORs are like required by the universities typically, but some universities may require 4 LORs. Some universities may require only 2. So you need to go and talk to 4 to 5 professors the more the better. If you can find out 5 more than that, it is good for you to write the letter of recommendation for you. Typically, people apply from 6 to 8 universities. If you want, you can apply for more than that. But applying for each university costs a lot. So usually people apply for 6 to 8 universities. So not every professors are like free to write a letter of recommendation for you to upload for you. So you have to like always keep your options open. Okay, so if you need 3 LORs, then you can alternatively switch between the professor, ask them to upload the LOR, so you can lessen the burden for them, right? Because for the one professor, he may be writing for like 5 students, right? It is too much work for him also. And this is your responsibility to track if for the application process, if the LOR is submitted to the university or not. Okay. So when you are applying, you will be able to see in your account whether you have uploaded the letter of recommendation is uploaded or not. Professors are like usually busy, as I said, that they are probably writing LOR for multiple people. They're busy in research, whatever. But this is your life, so you have to be responsible. If you see that the deadline for applications are approaching and your applications are not submitted, then you have to go knock on the professor's door. Sir, that I'm sorry to disturb you, but I have a deadline after 2 days or maybe 1 day. So don't wait until the last minute, right? A lot of things happens there. For me, it happened before that internet connection is not working at the last minute, something, the computer crashes or all that stuff. So always be proactive. You need, okay. Then the transcript, as I said, that this is just a envelope which has all your marks sheet and diplomas, right? So you have to get from your universities. Every university has like different timeline for providing you that. Some universities make it like really quick, within like 1 day they can give you a transcript. Some universities it can take like 3 years. If you are from B.B. College, probably you have to apply for, you have to get some approval from the principal, sir, and then you have to go to the university, you have to submit, they will call you after 1 month. I don't know how that works, but it was typically 3 months for me when I was applying. So it might take time, so better you be proactive about that. The procedure might be lengthy, so start at least 3 to 6 months before. Okay, these transcripts are not like food items. It does not expire in a day or so. So you can just apply for the transcripts early, and then you can keep it for the application purpose. So I gave you the overview of the application process, right? What is this? First, you have to take the test. Then after taking the test, you have to prepare your application for like LOR, SOP, and letter of recommendation. And there is one more important step. You have to figure out which universities you are applying, right? Then only you will apply. Now, if you ask me that which is the good school for mathematics, I don't know. There are like many universities everywhere. Also, especially if you are like going for research, then university doesn't matter a lot. The most thing which is going to matter is the professor you are working with, right? So if you are not, so it is better to choose the university based on the professor. Currently I'm like postdoctoral fellow in the University of Maryland, Baltimore. So I was getting the postdoctoral position in a better school, University of Florida, which is in Warman region in Florida itself. But I went there because of my supervisor. He was like really great in the research and in that area, and everybody wants to work with him. So it was like a very special opportunity for me. So even I went to a, in the stature a little bit lower school just to work with the professor, so that in future I can get more exposure. So the bottom is that you have to choose your school according to your research interest and the professor you want to work with. And for that, you are the only one who can tell yourself that where you want to go, which university you want to go. I will tell you how to do those steps. So once you are done with, let's say that you find out your universities, you did all your application process, then it's time you deserve some, rest time. So keep your finger crossed, uh, keep your hopes up that you are going to get some admissions and relax. But it is not going to, last long. So maybe very soon you have to get up again because it is not over once you start getting your admissions. But the good thing is that the difficult part is over. Now, once you get your first admission, start preparing for your visa, the last hurdle. I'm not going to discuss about the visa. This is not the scope of this talk. Probably you will get multiple admissions. I wish you will get multiple. We hope you will get multiple admissions from different schools. Now, admissions comes with acceptance deadline. If you got admission from University X, you'll get some deadline, right? Every university has different deadlines. So for one university, your deadline is November. For the other university, the deadline is February, right? So you got your admission in November, and probably uh, they have uh, they gave you time to accept their. Uh, you have to let them know, right, that whether you want to join the school or not. So your decision is due maybe in March, and in March you haven't got admission decision for a school where you really want to go. Okay, so they are very generous. In this case, you can ask for extra time, so that okay, I need one more month. Be like honest with them that I'm waiting for from a better school, decision from a better school. They also understand, right? Just like there's they're when you were applying, they are when they're picking the students to give admission, they give the whatever thing is a good student, right? So similarly, you should make the decision in the same way, right? Whichever school is good for you, you should go for that. Then you decide and accept when you have multiple offers. At last, you buy plane tickets and then start packing. You are ready to enter next phase of your life. Now, if you are thinking that you will be missing the lot of things like we enjoy in India, like festivals, then it's not like that. So this is the pictures, my personal pictures. So this is the picture from the first year. You can see in Florida, we have a big Bengali society of Florida. Similarly, there are like lot of Indians. So we'll not be missing festival at all. Like we organize and we participate in like many cultural festivals, starting with Puja, Saraswati Puja, even in Holi and Poila Boishakh and all. And like I enjoyed my time quite a lot here. I was in I was the part of the organizing committee for all these pujas and all. We were like many friends there. We like in the Saraswati Puja, we cook khichuri in what should I say, in Durga Puja, we cooked mutton for like audience and all. So it was fun. So you will not be missing festivals at all over there. Maybe you'll be missing, pandal hopping, just like in India, we go from pandal to pandal. You won't see there, but most of the party will not be missing there. Now let's talk about the funding opportunities. So first is Fulbright Fellowship. So there is one, okay, first, let me go to here first, resources. So there is one organization, USIEF. So it is in various parts of India. In Kolkata, there is one. So this is the collaborative effort from Indian and US government to, bridge, to, build a bridge so that, Indian students can go abroad and study in US. So this is a great institution. They had very minimum fees over there. You can join there, and there will get some guidance. They have library. You can go and they have library. You can go and explore, and they can also give you some career guidance. Okay, so that's what I was saying. And from there, you can just visit the website. Just write, American Center or USIEF. There, you just scroll through the website. You have to do a little bit some, work yourself, because now you have access to internet and all. You can do yourself. So there we'll get that there is a Fulbright Fellowship program. It is for supporting Indian students for pursuing higher studies abroad. There are some other funding universities. Every university has some funding opportunity for students. Fellowships, first one is fellowship. It is like a piece of gold that you get money just for studying, for doing your research, and just doing your own work. You're not doing any extra work. So that's why I said this is a piece of gold. You'll be able to spend 18 hours a day for your research, for your studies, right? You can do whatever you want, and this is very limited. That free money is not always available. This is kind of free money. Next, in USA, there is a assistantship. So if you're applying for PhD or even for MS programs, so there is assistantship available. The assistantship is are of two form. One is research assistantship. So research assistantship typically offered by the professors. So either before going, you contact professors and make them interested in your profile, in your skills, or after going there, if your professor have some funding, then they can give you research assistantship. and it may be as good as fellowship. So it is just also like you are doing your research and you are getting paid. So what could be better than that, right? Or maybe you will be working on some company projects, and through company research also you can publish papers. Teaching assistantship, so it's like you have to teach and get paid. So I did my I was teaching assistant throughout my PhD program. So like it's a like hard-earned money. So in mathematics we have like a lot of, we don't have much funding. So but the good thing is that from every other branch, from engineering to whatever, pharmaceutical, bio, everyone takes at least undergraduate level mathematics, right? So that's why mathematics department, also in physics and chemistry department, they run a lot of teaching courses, and through that the department makes money and they pay you. So there is, for this case, no free lunch. You have to work hard. So uh, this will take some time away from your studies. For me, like it all, for anyone, like it will tire you a little bit, and it will probably take 50% out of your like day. So like instead of work for research assistantship and fellowship, you can work 15 hours a day. For teaching assistantship, you can work maybe 8 to 10 hours a day, or maybe less, something like that. But the opportunities are there. So USF I discussed. Okay, I told you that you have to do your search yourself. So you have to find universities. So these are like two links I know that for US news ranking. From this link, you can just, when you open this link, then you'll get a website where they have listed according to the rank all the universities. You have a link there to go to specific universities. So from there, go to the universities, go to specific department. If you're from physics, go to the physics department. They have a list of professors. Go to each professor's website, see the research and whatever you are interested in. Similarly, you have gradschoolhopper.com. If and this edulix, like it's, I don't know what to say, it's like most helpful website you will ever find. So this is this is started by Indian students to guide the aspiring students to get admission in foreign universities. So I was participating in the website also. It has like tons of information. You will literally get everything you need, starting from the planning phase to reach there, and even after that. This is a very deep, rich website in terms of information. You just have to be patient. A lot of data is available, everything. There also you can find some mentor who can guide you to admission, to get admission over there. That's it. Thank you. So if you have any questions, please ask me. I hope the audience haven't left me.
So thank you, Dr. Gupta. It was a wonderful talk which you gave. There are some questions from the students. Aman Singh, he has got a student particular question that higher studies in abroad is okay, but as we know, the whole world is going through a harsh pandemic. And now due to that, many students have been sent back from abroad.
Okay, so I mean, I didn't understand the question properly. Okay, so we are going through like pandemic. Yeah, so right now, like entire world is going through pandemic, right? So like a lot of universities have canceled their admissions. The reason is, right, when you are traveling there, everyone is at risk. So but we are hoping that with time this corona situation will COVID situation will get better and everything will get back to normal. But if you are like planning now, then I think you don't have to focus on negative things right now, that what is happening in this world. COVID situation, maybe within a year or maybe within 2 years, the things will get back to normal, right? And if you are starting to plan your application and admission now, it is going to happen after 2 years. So just focus on that, application process, admissions, and what you need to do. Don't think about negative things at all. Okay, Dr.
Okay,
Das.
the next question uh, is from Homshikha Ghosh. She would like to know if you could explain the funding part once more.
Okay. I'm just curious.
সুদীপ তো চলে গেছে, কাজ এসেছে।
Okay, I don't need the slides right now. Okay, so like fund, what do we mean by funding, right? So if you are going to US, okay, it is a different country and you need some money to survive, right? To pay your house rent and like for the groceries and all. You need at least some amount of money. So how you are going to manage that? You know that abroad is like very expensive. So for that, universities offer like opportunities to the students so that they can survive. Now this funding will be of two types. As I said, that one is fellowship. So as I discussed in this slide, that there is one, I forgot, from USIF website, you can find out that this is some Fulbright fellowship program. So you can go and search there that what you need to do, you need to fill up to apply for this application. Similarly, in universities, when you get admission, or maybe before the admission, you can talk with the professor if there is some fellowship opportunities or not. If there is, professor would like to help, and that's it. Then if you get the fellowship, it is good. Otherwise, fellowship is, you can understand, right? It is like a free money, right? It's the best thing can happen to you. Apart from the fellowship, you have assistantship. Assistantship means it's a kind of job. You get paid for some work, right? If it is a research assistantship, you do some research, okay, and you get paid for that. So this research could be for a company or it could be some independent research, and this is also not a bad option for. And the last one is the teaching assistantship. So the teaching assistantship, you get paid for teaching. So probably you have to take like 2-3 courses there, and just you have to teach, and for that you have to work probably 20 hours a week, and you will get paid for that.
Okay,
Okay,
so there is one more question. We have time for one more question. So it is from Syed Shamiul Haq. So what he says is that, what are the key skills you have to get selected into European firms?
So in the European universities, right? So,
Yeah.
like the requirement is same. To get into like any universities or any good schools, you need to have like good academic background. Okay, you have to prove to them that you are worthy enough. So I mean, it's okay. I mean, no one is here or there to judge you whether you are a good student or not by your marks. So also, like, don't think about that. Even like you are a good student or you have good marks or not. You can start approaching the professors, interact with them, try to show your interest, and that's it. Like, so I would say that the key skill is just your interest and curiosity. That's it. Nothing like that.
Okay, so there's a request that for you to send the link of your presentation by some students. If you could send it to, then we could send it to them.
Yes, sure.
Thank you very much. With this, we would like to move on to the next speaker, Malavika Banerjee. I would request Dilawar to introduce her.
Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Yes, Dilawar, go on. You're audible.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, a very warm welcome to all the participants who have joined online to attend the international webinar on the theme Venture into Prospects in Career and Higher Education. Now, I introduce you to another eminent speaker for today's webinar, Dr. Malavika Banerjee. I, on behalf of B.B.College, Asansol, welcome you, ma'am. Dr. Malavika Banerjee is a senior research scientist in molecular pharmacology of Department TCG Life Sciences Limited, formerly known as KM Biotech International, Kolkata. She has obtained her Ph.D. from Department of Microbiology, University of Kalyani. She has many publications in internationally reputed and peer-reviewed journals. Dr. Malabika Banerjee possesses a varied research, development, and business experience in the technological-driven drug discovery field with a total experience of 12 years in a contract research organization. Her research interest areas are cancer cell signaling, molecular immunology, and microbial pathogenesis. She is also member of some renowned societies like American Society of Investigative Pathology, European Society of Medical Oncology, and Indian Society Congress Association. Now, I would like to request Madam to deliver her valuable speech to enlighten us.
Thank you, Mr. Hussain, and good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Malavika Banerjee, Senior Research Scientist of Molecular Pharmacology Division, TCG Life Sciences Limited, which is formerly known as Chembiotech International in Kolkata. So today in this webinar, I would like to throw some light on the area of the biotechnology industry in India. Many are students who are about to finish their master degree or who are working in a lab for their PhD degree. Often they do not really know from where it should begin to break into this industry. There are many of interesting things a student should learn before they are applying for any such position in this type of industry. So I hope through this webinar, my speech will definitely help to those potential aspirants. So before jumping into my presentation today, I'd like to introduce myself. As I have already mentioned that I am working in TCG Life Sciences Limited, and this is a leading pharmaceutical and contract research organization, which is also manufacturing some APIs. And this is a leading pharmaceutical company in the eastern zone of India. I have been working in this organization for past 12 years. I have met Dr. Arnab Ganguly, the convener of today's program, there in 2009, where when he joined this company after finishing his postdoc from the University of Edinburgh. And the particular area of experience of mine is in the process research and development for a variety of projects in the domain of microbiology, molecular biology, protein chemistry, cell-based assays, and some techno-commercial part as well. So the major job description of mine is to provide leadership and strategic direction for the team, and to ensure the high quality as well as effective work delivery to our respective clients in a very stipulated timeline. Starting with my early career, I have done my master and I have done my BSc and MSc both in microbiology from the University of Calcutta. And then I have qualified for some national level in an entry test for the PhD program like ICAN NET, GATE, DS Stainsberg Fellowship. And then I have obtained my PhD degree in the area of anti-infectives and cancer biology. During my doctoral course, I was successful in publication of total 8 articles in several internationally reputed peer-reviewed journals like Biomedical Science, Acta Tropica, International Journal of Molecular Medicine, and so many, with a total impact factor of 21 and total citation of 90. So now I will go into my presentation today, and please, I will request all to bear with me for a moment until I am sharing my screen. So my topic is what does it take to get into the biotech industry? Can you please tell me, am I audible enough?
Yes, madam. You are clearly audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So my topic is what does it take to get into the biotech industry? As my previous speaker has already mentioned about the career in academics, but still I have one slide to describe our this. So career in biological science is mainly of two types. One is in full in academics, another is in industry. In academics, you need to complete your BSc and then MSc and then PhD. So during PhD, you can choose the option to do it within the country by after qualifying some national level entrance exam like CSIR, EGC, ICMR or ICAR NET or GATE or any institutional conducted exams. There are so many reputed central or state institutes or universities you can join. In abroad, for USA and Canada, you need a GRE as well as TOEFL score. For Australia, UK or Germany, you need an IELTS score. People nowadays are going to Singapore and South Korea for doing their higher studies as well. And after finishing PhD, you can opt for postdoctoral fellowship, and that also can be done in the country or outside country. Within country, there are so many reputed institutes like IISc, IISER, TIFR, NII, NCCS, and in Calcutta also IICB or Bose Institute. So you can do your PDF from there. At any stage of your career, from starting from BSc to finish after finishing your PDF, you can join into industry. Obviously, your designation as well as your job description and pay package will vary, definitely vary. And after BSc, you will generally get a post like a lab technician or technical assistant. After MSc, you will be able to manage a post like research biologist or project fellow. After PhD, it will be like a research scientist, senior research scientist. After PDF, it will be like team lead or scientific officer, like that. Next, biotechnology industry in India. Biotechnology within the healthcare sector, the biotechnology domain is the most prominent one in terms of revenue and employment. Not only jobs in the public and private sector, there are enough opportunities for entrepreneurship as well. The biotechnology industry in India is the third largest in the Asia Pacific region, and it presents an excellent career scopes. It is the fastest growing segment in India. It valued at 64 billion in 2019 and is expected to reach 150 billion target by 2025 as per ABLE. This domain is expected to be $33 billion and to reach 9th position in the global pharma market by 2023. There are 5 major subcategories in biotechnology industry in India, and those are biopharma, bioservices, bioagriculture, bioindustry, and bioinformatics. The biopharma segment deals in biopharmaceuticals that include drugs, proteins, and antibodies. This segment primarily deals in diagnostics and therapeutics. This segment can also be termed as a biomedical segment. Bioservices usually refer to the clinical trials, research, and manufacturing contracts. The bioagriculture segment deals with crops and genetically modified foods and processing, like biopesticides, biofertilizers, and genetically GM crops. The bioindustry segment covers the research work related to yeast-based enzymes, organic amino acid, expensive biofuels and inexpensive biofuels and food sciences and technology. The last segment is bioinformatics, which deals with bio-IT services, which covers computational biology, computational chemistry, genetic sequences, etc. What are the major challenges in biotechnology and pharmaceutical startups? The first one is time. It can take a decade for a biotech or pharmaceutical startup to launch a market-ready product. It does require huge amount of funds. Unlike IT or software industry, it doesn't. It just require a computer and a sitting place and a Wi-Fi connection. It's not like it's not true for the biotechnology industry. It requires a huge amount of fund, which is full of uncertainties of success. So number of investors are very less in this sector. Lack of expertise in form of consulting and mentoring is another problem. Still, Indian biopharma industry has its several advantages as well. Like the first one is cost efficiency. Low cost of production and R&D boost efficiency of Indian pharma companies, which leads to competitive export. Indian pharmaceutical export stood at $13 billion in financial year 20 till January 2020. Second one is economic drivers. High economic growth in Indian market, along with increasing penetration of health insurance to push expenditure on healthcare and medicine in India. Policy, Pharma Vision 2020 is aimed at making India a global leader in end-to-end drug manufacturing. In this sector, 100% FDI is allowed under the automatic route. Increasing private sector investment in R&D and acquisitions are also driving growth. Indian drugs and pharmaceutical sector received a cumulative FDI inflow of $16 billion between April 2000 to March 2020. In this slide, I would like to share some top biotech and biopharma companies in India. The first one is Sun Pharma Industry, which is located in Gujarat. Lupin Limited in Mumbai, Cipla Limited in Mumbai, Piramal Enterprises Limited in Mumbai, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories in Hyderabad, Aurobindo Pharma Limited in Hyderabad. Another contract research services of Biocon Syngene in Bangalore, Abbott India Limited in Mumbai, Indian Immunologicals Limited in Hyderabad, Bharat Biotech, which is nowadays in news for their COVID vaccine, is located in Hyderabad, TCG Life Sciences, of course, in Calcutta, and apart, and the list is never ending. So apart from the above companies, several other startups are also coming up in the field of biotechnology. So what jobs can a student get in biopharma industry? I have already mentioned that there are a lot of different type of jobs depending on their prior experience or the academic background. So the roles can be biomedical scientist or biotechnologist, biochemist, computational biologist, microbiologist, clinical research associate, industrial pharmacist, quality assurance executives, bioinformatician, etc. Pay package of Indian biopharma generally starts from 2.4 LPA, that means lakh per annum, to it. The limit is endless, like the sky is the limit. So I have just mentioned a figure roughly of 50 LPA, which a student can, which a professional can get after 15 years, 15 to 20 years of experience in this field. Next one is about my company, that is TCG Life Sciences Limited, which is located in Calcutta and is a leading company in the eastern zone of India. And this is basically a contract research and manufacturing services in the area of drug discovery. It started its operation in 2001 in Calcutta and currently present in US, Europe, and Japan. It offers functional solutions to integrated projects across multiple therapeutic areas, including inflammation and pain, infectious diseases, CNS, and oncology. It has world-class research infrastructures like chemistry and biology laboratories, animal facility, electrophysiology laboratory, BSL-2 laboratory, and CGMP facilities. It provides its services in the area of chemistry, preclinical discovery, and manufacturing services. In chemistry, like medicinal chemistry synthesis, that means it synthesizes the raw materials to make the desired drug. Library synthesis, custom synthesis, analytical analysis of those synthetic drugs, the process research and development, CGMP kilo scale synthesis, where the raw material can be synthesized in kg level. Preclinical discovery offers medicinal chemistry, molecular pharmacology, drug metabolism, and pharmacokinetics. the toxicity of the drug, the in vivo pharmacology studies, then biologics development like monoclonal antibodies and enzymes, electrophysiology, and many more. Manufacturing services offers intermediates and regulatory starting materials for the product. It offers process optimization and validation, custom manufacturing of new chemical entities, tech transfer of existing technologies, manufacturing to support commercial launch and routine supply. Next, how to apply for an industrial job. So, to apply for a job online and to complete online job application, you will need an internet access, an email address, and please don't make it awkward email ID. Make it professional to use for job searching, an up-to-date resume, a cover letter of your employment history, if any. Also, as part of the job application process, you may need to take online employment test or interview and be prepared to provide employment references. So first you need to get your resume ready, and I will advise every student to make a profile in linkedin.com, which is a social networking site for professionals, from where you can get several advertisements as well, and you should write a good cover letter mentioning your area of strength. And job application should be of two types. One is force application, another is respond to a job advertisement. What is force application? Force application means you forcefully applied for a post through the HR email ID or your desired company. And you can also respond to a particular job advertisement when you can see it in any leading newspaper or online. And then you need to get ready for the interview. There are so many online job search engines like Naukri.com, timesjobs.com, indeed.com, monsterindia.com, biotechnica.org. So you should need to register yourself in those online job search engines and then start searching your desired jobs. Then I'll tell how to write a good CV for industry. What is CV? It's a curriculum vitae. That is your description, I mean academic and personal, professional, everything, and which will be used as a marketing tool that highlight your relevance in the recruitment process. An industry CV is typically a two-page document that includes details about educational background, research experience, and a select list of publications and or presentations. Experience in industry environments, management positions, and leadership roles is more highly valued in this document than in an academic CV. Optional sections that complement this information may include a summary of your qualifications, honors, or awards, and a technical skill summary, of course. You need to add exclusivity and impression of your originality in your CV. Please choose the same font throughout the CV. Make a consistent choices about the font size, margin, width, and format. The goal is to impress the reader with your skill and experience, not your resume style choices. So don't get fancy here. Use those verbs which convey actions, not the weaker verbs which diminishes your role in the in your previous experience. Like you should not use a verb like assisted with, worked on, looked at, helped to, cooperated with. Rather, you should use stronger verbs like analyzed, examined, managed, developed, wrote, presented, or collaborated. These will add real values. And don't send the same CV everywhere. Read job description with a pen or highlighter, circle and highlight the key words and qualifications, and then use the similar words in your CV to to apply for the jobs. You should specially mention about your relevant hobby, like say you are running a personal website, so please mention that. Or you should mention your social responsibilities, like you are organizing a blood donation camp, or you are a member of a child education organization, you are associated with cleaning of your area. So this type of social responsibilities you must include your CV. You should strain on, you should give the emphasis on some areas like project. Describe what you did specifically when you are mentioning about your prior experience. Highlight tools or techniques that you employed, especially those which are already advertised in the job description. You should mention the purpose, so you should articulate the goals of the project in a way that is relevant to the company or industry. You should always keep in remember the question that, so what? The employer will always ask you, why I will take you, or what you have done, so what? So you should think broadly about the quantifiable outcomes like publications, patents, innovations, etc. For example, you can write like that. You have developed a novel purification method using fluorescent tagged antibody arrays, which has been published in Nature Methods. In the slide, I will tell about some corporate etiquettes which you should remember when you are into industry. So what is corporate etiquette? It is a set of rules an individual must follow while at work. Some corporate etiquettes are: reach office on time, greet your and this is an indicative for your discipline. Greet your fellow workers in the morning with a smile. Follow the professional dress codes, like avoid wearing jeans, capris, t-shirts, shorts, etc. Body piercing and tattoo are a strict no-no at the corporate environment. Do not use strong perfumes. Keep your workstation clean and tidy. It's another disciplinary action of your character. So throw unwanted papers in dustbin, keep files in the respective drawers, and put a label on top of each file to avoid unnecessary searching. Never share confidential information and data with any of the external parties under any circumstances. Loud laughter, loose talk, searching for jobs from the same office desktop, criticizing or making fun of colleagues, peeping into others' cubicles and computers, sleeping in the gap of work, social networking, and long personal calls during the office hours can invite severe troubles. Keep your cell phones in the silent mode to avoid disturbing others. Learn to own your mistake. Never play blame games and politics at your workplace. Stick to your statements. Take care of your pitch and tone at the workplace. So this is all in a brief about corporate antibiotic industry in a nutshell. And I would like to thank Dr. Amitabo Basu, Honorable Principal, Asansol B.B. College, Dr. Arnob Ganguly, the convener, and Dr. Sandeep Chatterjee, the Organizing Secretary of Career Counseling and Placement Cell. I'd like to thank Dr. Sudipto Das, Dr. Porimal Ghosh, Dr. Animesh Mondol, technical advisors of the program. And I would like to thank all the members of advisory board, each and every faculty and the students participating in this webinar. So thank you all.
Thank you, Malavika. And it was a wonderful talk. And there are two relevant questions. I believe they were the questions which you yourself had when you were in your early days as a microbiologist in Chem Biotech. So the first question is there any scope of a microbiologist in industry? You're the right person, absolutely, to answer this.
Yeah, microbiology is a booming division of our current biotech industry. So microbiology, biotechnology, all are very closely related subjects and domains, and it generally merges after you enter into an industry. So if you have a background of microbiology, so it is like anti-infectives is nowadays a very hot topic. Also gut pathogens, like those pathogens which reside in the gut of human health. So those are also a very emerging field. So microbiology has a very good prospect in industry.
The next question is from a very nice, good student of ours, Shomnath Banerjee.
Yeah.
He's asked another very relevant question, which I believe you may have mentioned once to me. It is it better to work in the industry, or is it better to work in a CSIR lab? Where is the pay packet better?
I mean, I don't get the question exactly. I mean, if at any point of your career, you can get into the industry. Obviously, the much you get your academics strong, then you will get the higher package. Obviously, a person who is entering after his MSc do not be paid same as a person who is entering after his PhD degree or postdoc degree. But definitely, the postdoc will earn more compared to PhD and compared to masters. So it's better to finish your degree first, and then you can enter into the industry. Or the thing is sometimes parallel. If you enter into a good industry, like after MSc, you need 5 years of time to finish your PhD. Similarly, your friend say he is entering into the industry after finishing his masters, and you are entering into a CSR lab. So in CSR lab, right now the fellowship is almost 40,000 or so, including the HR maybe. But in industry, you can start with like 20-25,000 in the early career of yours. But after 5 years, it will be like almost same. When he will come after finishing the PhD, and you have already finished your 5 years of experience in this organization, so the remuneration will be kind of similar. So it does matter how much, how many years you have spent in the industry. If it is equivalent, then the package should be same. But I will recommend to finish the degree, because it helps to go up in the ladder with time.
Thank you, Malavika. Because of time constraints, I cannot take in many questions, but I will send these questions to you later by email, and I will give you answers to them.
Sure,
and
I will answer
so we
all the
would like to
questions.
move on to the next speaker. Okay, thanks a lot. Next speaker will be introduced by Dr. Chanchal Biswas, and he is Dr. Shushmita Poti.
Very good morning to all participants and respected speakers. This is our last session of today's webinar, and Dr. Shushmita Poti is the speaker in this session. Welcome, madam. Now I am going to introduce you with the participants. Dr. Shushmita received her doctorate degree in political science from the University of Jawaharlal Nehru in 2017. She is currently working as an assistant professor, School of Development and School of Policy and Governance, Azim Premji University from 2017 to till date. Very soon, she will join in the University of National Law School of India. She has also attached with St. Stephen's College and Ramjas College in Delhi University as a visiting faculty. She has already published his work in different reputed journals of India and abroad, and some are waiting to be published. For more introduction, I am requesting all participants to be with her lecture in this session. Today, she will deliver her lecture on the topic, what the future holds for the students of social science background in teaching professional courses or in competitive exams. Now I'm requesting respected madam to kindly start your session. Well,
thank you so much for introducing me. I can't. I hope I'm audible. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, you are clearly audible. Carry on.
Okay. And I thank Dr. Arnab Ganguly and Dr. Sandeep Chatterjee for having invited me here. As Dr. Chanchal already mentioned, I finished my PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University in 2017. 16, and since then I've been teaching in Bangalore in Azim Premji University. So what I would like to do is I would like to share some experience, some sort of avenues that probably some of you can think about, can take up in your future. So what I will do is I'll share. Okay, so this is roughly a PowerPoint so that it becomes simple for all of you to follow. What I wanted to start off with saying was that as while we were growing up, there was always this sense that, as in we were always told that if you do humanities, if you do social sciences, your career prospects will become narrower and narrower, right? So if only you do science, will your options remain as wide as possible. But as I have spent several years doing humanities, I quit humanities, as in I quit sciences the first at the first instance. I quit sciences right after 10th boards, and but I have never felt, and I did political science, as in that was my core subject, and I kept studying political science for my higher degrees as well. But never did I feel this problem that I don't have enough options, right? I don't have enough things to enough opportunities, right? So the field in social sciences and humanities is also now bustling with opportunities. It depends a great deal on your own frame of mind, your own liking, and what kind of, say, courses, what kind of things you want to pursue, depending on other constraints, right? So these are some things that I would like to talk. So let's first start with, so what lies after your graduation? What can you possibly do after, say, a general master's course, after general, say, graduation course, say a graduation, an undergraduate course in English literature, or an undergraduate course, say, in political science. So there are options in front of you, right? So should you go for a master's degree? So if you are, say, a undergrad in political science, should you do a master's in political science, or should you choose a more specific professional course? Just give me a second. I'll be back. Okay, so so should you do a more specific course, or should you do a general master's course, or should you prepare for competitive exams? So these are not very easy decisions. A lot of it would depend on how and what you want to do in the times ahead, right? So you should select a general course only when, say, if say you want to prepare for a competitive exam, or you want to do research, or you are yet to figure out exactly a stream in which you have developed interest. So in these situations, should you prefer to do a selective a master's in a general course, right? Okay, so let's first talk about research. Masters is always the first step into the world of research. And the subject of masters can sometimes be very important if you want to do research, right? Because, say, for example, in UGC, there is a regulation that if you want to teach a subject, you need to have a master's degree in that subject, right? So, for example, if I have a master's degree in political science, and I have a PhD in history, right? I cannot teach history because in a UGC college, because I have even if I have a PhD degree in history, right? So sometimes those constraints work out, right? But that also doesn't mean that if you have done political science, you can only do political science thereafter, right? There are also people who have done various PhDs in other disciplines, and they have managed other ways of getting into the teaching line, right? So we don't need to get into that. These are things you will figure by the by. But this is largely, so what you do your masters is something you should be a little careful about in general, but no harm done. You can also prefer to change your subject for your say MPhil or your PhD degree, right? Okay, so in India, these, of course, the central universities are the best place, on the more affordable places where you can do your degrees, right? So Jawaharlal Nehru University is Delhi University, Jamia Millia Islamia, Banaras Hindu University, Hyderabad Central University, Osmania University. These are some of the most well-known universities, right? Which have very strong master's degrees, right? Another good place is also Indian Institute of Technology. So these are not, we don't know IIT for the humanities as much as we know for their engineering degrees, but IITs also have a humanities and a social science department, right? So if you go onto their website, it's called Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT HSS. So IIT Delhi has an MSc in economics. IIT Madras has an MA in development studies. IIT Bombay also has several, it has, I think, a master's in English literature. So these are also very good institutions where you can do your masters, right? Even if they're known for engineering, right? So keep an eye out, do go onto their website, see what is available, see what interests you, right? That always helps. In Kolkata itself, you have some great institutes like CSSC Kolkata and Calcutta University. So these are also great old institutions which have a very strong research background. So the idea is that once you have done your masters, the field of research would become clearer to you, right? So because a master's would give you a far more in-depth knowledge, a far more in-depth insight into the subject, right? So for example, if you're doing, say, history, right? You're doing a master's in history, you will, say, have courses, say, on labor history. You will have courses on gender and history. You will have courses on the history of capital, right? So while you do these courses, you will figure out what is it that you're interested in, right? What is it that, what is that subject? What is that area that is interesting for you, right? So I think masters is the time where you just spend time reading as widely as possible, figuring out your own area of research, figuring out your own core interest, right? And that is very important for you to do in masters if you want to do research, right? So use masters as the time where you build that that depth, right? And build that area of interest. Okay, this is what I'm interested in largely, and I would want to do research in this particular field, right? Because what happens often is that research is something that you spend a lot of time with, right? So you would spend at least 5 to 7 years of your life in that niche field, in that area of research. So you should be confident that it excites you, right? You should be confident that you will be interested in the field in the years to come, right? So that's something for you to do in your masters. So which is why getting into a good master's program is important. Also, most universities have an entrance test for an entry level at each level. So for example, masters will have an entrance test. So for example, I know JNU has an entrance test. For both, for MPhil, it also has an interview, right? So Hyderabad Central University has, which is also a great university, also has an entrance exam. So yeah, so there is a screening at that level. So do look up these entry level tests and entrance tests and prepare accordingly, right? Figure out what you want to do. Okay. Okay, why should you do research? That's one question, right? So you should do research because you enjoy reading, learning, and wish to teach at a later level. I think that is very important for you to be clear about, right? So you need to be you have to enjoy the process of staying with books, staying with the process of gaining knowledge, right? If you don't enjoy that, then there are other ways of doing other kinds of master's programs, so which we can talk about later, right? So the most important resource for doing research is, of course, determination and hard work, because these are long years, right? You spend a lot of time with one particular topic. So you need to have that kind of a willpower. You have to be self-motivated, right? Because at the end of the day, you would realize that research is largely a solitary and lonely journey, right? So it's only you who's interested, as in the sense that it's uh, it's your research, it's your thing, right? It is not something that will necessarily excite everybody else, but it has to excite you adequately, right? So you have to have a sense of whether you like to do that or not, okay? Okay. So let's come to other things, right? Let's come to, and also while you do research, there is also opportunity to go abroad for, say, either a PhD. And I think Dr. Pawan Gupta spoke at length about going abroad to do your PhD. Much of what he said about sciences will also apply to humanities, right? So you would also have to apply for GRE. You would also have to write a statement of purpose. You'd also have to do these things, right? But even if you don't, you can also get, even if you say, for example, my PhD was from India, right? I did my PhD in Jawaharlal Nehru University. But even then, I got an opportunity to spend 5 months in a university in Germany on an exchange. So I spent 5 months there. I got to know scholars there. I exchanged my work. I got their feedback. I used their libraries. So so these kinds of exchanges and travel is also possible, right? Even if you don't choose to do your research abroad. So yeah, so let's come to more professional courses. So those of you, I can imagine that research is not something that excites everyone, right? But there are, that doesn't mean that only people who do research or competitive exams should do humanities and social sciences. Tata Institute of Social Sciences alone has 53 master's courses across 4 campuses, right? So you can also do more professionally oriented courses, and you can look for jobs after your master's, right? So for example, Tata Institute of Social Sciences is a great place to do a different kind of a master's which is more professionally inclined, right? So this is a page from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So these are the different schools. If you look at this page, you will have a sense of how broad the school of, as in a master's degree can be. So you have a school of management and labor studies. You have a school of media and cultural studies. You have a school of social work. If you want to do a MSW, a master's in social work, you can do it in a place like this. You can also do, say, a master's in rural development. there's a school of human ecology, there's a school of habitat studies, there's a school of education, there's a school of development studies. So there are all kinds of schools that are there, right, within Tata Institute of Social Sciences itself. Now, Tata Institute of Social Sciences is not its status is, it's not a government institution necessarily. It's funded by the Tata's trust, but it is it's fairly affordable, right? Compared to a lot of other private universities, it's really affordable, and it's known for being inclusive. It's known for encouraging diversity, right? So just a short look at their master's programs. So if we just look at this, there's a Master's of Art and Social Work, which specializes in public health, right? There's a Master's of Arts in Social Work, which specializes in criminology and justice, right? So you see, look at this: Masters in Public Health, Masters of Art and Development Studies. So there are ways in which you can think of doing a master's like this, right? Which is more practice oriented, which will require, which will get you a job after master's. So something like, for example, a Master's of Art and Social Work in Public Health, I would believe is something that would be extremely, extremely topical given the pandemic, right? So a lot of opportunities would possibly be opening up if you do, say, a Master's of Art in Social Work in Public Health, or say, for example, if you do, say, a Master's of Hospital Administration, right? There is also, say, a Master's of Arts and Masters of Sciences in Water Policy and Governance. So these are very specialized courses which you can think of doing. So these are, so this is an entire page if you go through it. I'll share the PPT with either Professor Ganguly or Professor Chatterjee, and maybe they can share it with the rest of you. So these are the various very specialized courses that you can do. You can do a Masters of Art in Social Work and in Rural Development. You can do something, Masters of Art in Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship, right? So you will have to figure out what interests you, what excites you, which is the field that you will enjoy the most. So yeah, this is also something that I wanted to say. As important as it is to figure out where are the jobs, right? What is it that lands you with a decent, sustainable salary, right? As important as it is to figure that out, it's also important to figure out what you are interested in, right? If you're only, I think it's important to balance both these needs, right? I understand that a lot of you may be constrained in terms of the career choices you choose, right? Some of you may not have the luxury, or rather to say, like, spend 10 years doing research, right, without having a job. That is totally understandable. But even then, I would still urge you that it's important to mix both of these two things together. What is it that interests you, and what is it that will give you a sustainable job, a career, etc., etc. If you only concentrate on career prospects, it may be the case that you may just land up in a job that doesn't excite you. And if you land up in a job that doesn't excite you, then that can also become tedious. That can also become, you wouldn't enjoy doing it. And I think it's important that we enjoy what we do at whatever level, right? Right. So this is about Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Azim Premji University, which is in Bangalore, where I am currently, is also a good place to think about professional courses. So you have an MA in Education, you have an MA in Development, you have an MA in Policy and Governance, and you have an MA in Economics. So these are the 4 courses that we run at the master's level. So the MA in Education is not an MA. It's not, don't confuse MA in Education with MEd, right, or a B.Ed. Masters in Education is specifically developed for supporting school education, right? So for example, there is a lot more emphasis on, say, curriculum development. There is an emphasis on teacher training, right? So that's the kind of master's course it is. MA in development, I'm in School of Development myself. So we teach courses, students who are doing their master's in development. They are constantly, there is a lot of field exposure. There's a lot of working, there's an on-hands experience that Azim Premji University, and I think this also values. So students are also spending a lot of time on the field. They're also spending a lot of time in the classroom. So there is a way in which practice and theory is sort of mixed in the classrooms, right? So that is the intent of courses here. There is a master's in policy and governance, similar. So this is about students who would want to do policy making in the future, right? And we also have a master's in economics. For entrance, there is an entrance test, and there's also an interview that takes place. There is also, Azim Premji University also has a lot of fellowships that reduces your tuition fees and your hostel fees considerably, right? So these are fellowships that are given out on need basis. So if you're able to prove that you need the fellowship, they often give you varying degrees of scholarship ranging from 30%, 40, 50%, 70%, 100%. So there is a range that you get, right? Depending on your financial situation. Let's come to law now. Law is also an extremely budding and an important field. There is a faculty of what's happened to law is also that you can do an LLB course, right, only after your graduation. Now there are several institutions which now have a BLLB course. So these are 5-year composite programs which you do right after school, right? So you join a BLLB course. It covers your BA and your LLB, right? Since you're already doing your graduation, what you would be eligible for is something called an LLB, right? So the best places to do an LLB are the following. I've already listed it down if you can see my screen. So this is Faculty of Law, Delhi University, Faculty of Law, BHU, Government Law College, Mumbai University, ILS Law College, Pune, Rajiv Gandhi School of Intellectual Property Law, IIT Kharagpur. So this school specifically focuses on intellectual property law, right? Intellectual property law is all about patents, right? It's all about ownership of information and knowledge. You don't need to, if you don't know it, that's fine. You can always Google what intellectual property is. And also University College, Osmania University. These are some of the good places where you can think of doing LLB from, right? So these would, LLB would be a 3-year course, right? And after an LLB, you can always choose to get into practice, get into law. You can choose to, of course, specialize in the law field as well. You can do, so if you want to do corporate law, you specialize in company law. If you want to do criminal law, then you specialize in family courts, etc., etc. So there are different kinds of specializations available once you join the LLB, right? Okay. Then the other kind, next I would like to talk about is also journalism. Now, journalism also, you have 2 kinds of courses. One is MA in mass communication, or you can do a shorter postgraduate diploma, right? MA in mass communication is like a regular MA. You do a 2-year course in mass communication. And the best places to do here is Jamia Millia University. It is considered the best course. It is also extremely tough. Because it's very competitive, this particular MA course. There's also IIMC, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, which is in Delhi. IIMC is also a 2-year, it offers both actually. But the good thing about IIMC is also that they offer courses in Hindi journalism. They offer courses in, you can choose to do Hindi journalism, right? For Hindi news media. If some of you are comfortable with, अगर आपको हिंदी में पत्रकारिता करनी है तो IIMC में कोर्स है जो सिर्फ हिंदी जर्नलिज्म में फोकस करता है, और अभी हिंदी जर्नलिज्म का फील्ड भी काफी बड़ा हो रहा है। हम देख रहे हैं कि इंक्रीजिंगली institute as in Hindi news channels or Hindi news media outlets, even digital media outlets में Hindi ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है, right? There is BHU also has a mass communication course. Do look at it. There is Times School of Journalism, which has short PG diploma courses. It's a private school, which is run by the Times Group, the Times of India group, right? So they have a short PG diploma course, which is 9 months or 10 months, I believe. So which you can do after a master's. So I would, if you are going for a short PG diploma course, I would suggest that you do a proper master's course and then do a short PG diploma course, right? It gives you more weightage as a student, as someone who's entered the job market as well, right? So Times School of Journalism does this very short courses. Xavier Institute of Communication also runs similar 9-10 month short PG diploma courses. Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University also offers journalism courses in Hindi. It's in Bhopal, I believe. Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University में भी आप हिंदी में पत्रकारिता के कोर्सेज कर सकते हैं। ये भोपाल में है और काफी पुराना है और अच्छा है. So those of you interested, please go look it up. Look up these websites, see what interests you, see what works for you. Okay, let me mention something. I think Times School of Journalism and Xavier Institute of Communication are private institutes. So their courses would be shorter, but they are also more expensive, right? So also get a sense of those kinds of details as well. Okay, so this is all I had to say in terms of various avenues that you have, the major avenues. I'm sure I have left out things, but you can definitely try research. You can think of doing a law course. You can think of doing journalism. You can think of doing a professional course, and think of building a career based on something very specific. So see, but the most, like I'll again repeat, the most important thing is to figure out what is it that you're interested in, what is it that you would like to do, right? Avenues would open up if you are interested enough, right? So because the more interested you are, the better you are in that field, right? The more energy, the more enthusiasm, the more let's say depth you will bring to that particular field. So the most important thing is for you to be interested, right? So I'll stop here, and I'll take a few questions if there are any.
Thank you, Dr. Poti, for sharing your invaluable expertise and invaluable input. We have one question from Home Shikha Ghosh, and her question is: does IIT Kharagpur allow a master's degree in English literature?
I don't. I will have to look up, but this is something. This will be an information that will be on their website. So if you look at IIT HSS Kharagpur, you will, their social sciences page will open up, and they will have information on what are the master courses that are available in IIT Kharagpur, right? So do that because different IITs offer different kinds of master's courses. So they don't offer the same kind of master's courses. So for example, an MA in economics is probably available in IIT Chennai, but MA in economics is not there in, say, Delhi University, in IIT Delhi, right? So that's what I mean. What I'm trying to also urge you to do is do your own research. Look at what IIT Kharagpur has. So I'm not sure if English literature is there in IIT Kharagpur. I think IIT Bombay does.
Okay, I'd like to clarify one thing. Maybe you can help me out with that. Maybe the broader picture regarding IITs. I mean, some IITs, they, as I've said, Some IITs, they offer, history, they have history like IIT Kharagpur, then IIT Mandi, and then most of the IITs, they have courses in psychology. And as far as I know, the prospects in English literature is pretty good. I think IIT Delhi also offers a course in English, if I'm not wrong, and also the discipline of philosophy. So yeah, it's a good idea for participants to go to their websites and look up for themselves, because the IITs offer huge varieties of courses, and many of us don't know it. The students don't know. But it's pretty interesting. So maybe we can add a little bit to it.
Yes, as in I totally I agree with Shondeep. That is precisely what as an IIT has a varied courses. Yes, you're absolutely right that IIT Delhi has an English literature course, master's course, which you can pursue right after your graduation, which will also require an entrance test, etc., etc. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if IIT Kharagpur has a master's in English. That's something you would need to look up. IIT Guwahati, I think, has an English literature course, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so I also request the participants to look up, different institutes rather than mainstream institutes like IITs. Some IIMs also offer. I'm not sure about bachelor courses, but for further studies, IIM might be a good option for social science students also. So,
Also, another good place to do your masters is also Ambedkar University, Delhi.
Right.
It's a state university. I didn't mention it, but that's something you should definitely go and look up. Ambedkar University, Delhi is a new university, but it has a great faculty. It's relatively more affordable, and it's coming up very well. So that's also something you should keep an eye out.
Right. Thank you. So I again request the participants, and with Dr. Puti's permission, I will share your email ID with them, and also I will share your, I'll ask Dr. Ganguly to share your PPT with them. So participants can easily contact her if they have further questions, because it's not easy to accommodate all the details in such a short span. So like Ambedkar University, there are other institutes that are coming up. I mean, that have come up in the past 5-6 years, and some of them are coming up. It's even West Bengal. New universities are coming up where you can apply for master's program. So after finishing graduation. So with Dr. Puti's permission, I would like to share your email ID with the participants.
Sure.
So I think that's it, and because we have time constraint and we have come to the concluding part of this webinar. And so now this, I've been given the responsibility to, give the vote of thanks. So first of all, I'd like to we are deeply thankful to our esteemed speakers, starting from Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta, Dr. Malika Banerjee, and Dr. Sushmita Poti. We are deeply grateful to you for sharing your invaluable input with us and with the participants. Many of them are students. And I take this opportunity to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Amitabh Basu, and kudos to him for his relentless enthusiasm and continued, unconditional support to different kinds of initiatives of our college. And I would like to thank Dr. Kajal Krishna De. He's our IQAC coordinator. And I'd like to thank other members of the advisory board, Dr. Chanchal Bishwas, Dr. Mr. Dilawar Hussain, and we are equally grateful to Dr. Sudipto Das, Dr. Animesh Mondol, and last but not least, Dr. Porimal Ghosh for supporting us with organizing this webinar. And special thanks to Dr. Arnob Ganguly. He was instrumental in organizing this fantastic webinar. So I think that's it from my side and from our side. And I would like to request our beloved principal, Dr. Amitabh Basu, to spare a few words to formally conclude this webinar. Sir?
Hello.
হ্যাঁ শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ।
আপনি একটু কিছুটার কথা বলে দিন শেষ।
Okay. Thank you very much, Sandeep. It is really a very effective and fruitful session for our students. We all know that in our in my earlier speech, I have already mentioned that there is a problem that what we are producing as output from our general academic institutions and what the demands of the industry, that is a mismatching is there. So we need the proper guidance of the students, proper direction for the students, and this type of webinar is really helpful for our students to get the actual information, to get the actual direction for their career. And I'm really indebted to all our invited speakers for their insightful lecture, and it will be a great help for our students. And in future, we will conduct this such workshop seminar with our invited speaker, and I hope I will get their support to for the betterment of our student also. And with this, I formally want to say that this is the end and close of our today international webinar. Thank you very much to all of you.
Sorry, sir, I missed one important detail. Can I just mention it now?
Okay, okay.
Actually, I'm really sorry. I forgot to thank our participants, and many of them are students. So maybe you're worrying a lot. Your parents are worrying a lot. So don't worry. You're not alone with the process. We are also worrying on your behalf, despite our limitations. So on behalf of our entire college community, we thank you for participating in this webinar. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you very much all the members of our organizing committees also. Without their active effort and enormous hard work, without it would not be possible to organize this webinar. Thank you very much. So we end this session.